Hello, my YouTube family. This is the OG Crypto New Jack coming at you with some juicy news. But before I begin, let me say I am not a financial advisor. Anything you see or hear in this video is for educational and informational purposes only and should not be considered as financial advice. Remember to do your own research and consult with a qualified professional before making investment decisions. Okay, we're going to begin looking at your total crypto market, and it is at 1.21 trillion. It is up 1.4%. Coming in at number one is Bitcoin at 30,403. Coming in at number two is Ethereum at 1,848. Now, beloved XRP is coming in at number six at 47 cents. Taking a look at crypto bubbles, looks like it's mostly green with Compound coming in at number one at plus 24.6%. Taking a look at the crypto fear and greed index, it is neutral at 54. Okay, Cameron Winklevoss, shout out to him. He put this tweet out. It says, a much watch. Former SEC Chairman Jay Clayton describes the new and deeply un-American ethos of the SEC Gov, the Gary Gensler. If we're not losing cases, we aren't suing enough businesses. This is a total abuse of power. And I 100% agree with this, but oh man, what a disingenuous person Jay Clayton is. Let me play the video.
Very high level on the regulatory side. What you're hearing from the leaders of the regulatory organizations is if we're not losing cases, if we're not being pushed back on by the courts, we're not doing enough. Think about that for a second. That is a fundamental shift in how we as Americans view the role of the government. I don't want to be in a place where I know the government is going to bring cases they think they're going to lose. Imagine you're the person who is the subject of that case. Now, we're talking about corporations.
Yeah, to see if they can, and if they're not stopped, they're going to, yeah.
Right, but this is an ethos now, which is, unless we're losing, we're not bringing enough cases. That may be fine for private litigants against each other and think that, but when you have the power of the state, and you're supposed to only bring cases and only make rules that you think are going to pass judicial muster.
Would you believe the audacity of this guy? He goes on TV, CNBC, and makes these statements when he just described exactly what he did to Ripple on his last day or so before he left being the chair of the SEC. What he's saying should not be done is exactly what he did to Ripple. I mean, the audacity on this guy to go on TV and talk like he's completely innocent of these wrong and unethical government agency behaviors is just unreal. Moving on. Speaking of unreal, shout out to the digital asset investor. He puts out a tweet with Joseph Lubin. He writes, Joseph Lubin explaining that it doesn't matter if Gary Gensler thinks Ethereum is a security. Let me play the video.
Almost out of time. Just in terms of what you would say to regulators that are trying to say that Ethereum is a security and should be treated as such.
Well, regulators have spoken. The SEC has spoken. Bill Hinman made a speech, I think it was in mid-2018. It was disclosed that I think 18 of his colleagues at the SEC worked on the speech with him. So the SEC actually spoke. The CFTC has spoken very crisply. These are U.S. agencies, very crisply a number of times that they consider Ether a commodity and not a security. And so it's really a foregone conclusion at this point. There may be a regulator or two in the United States that can't bring himself to utter the fact that that Ether is not a security, but I don't know why that's the case, and ultimately that just doesn't matter.
Almost out of time. Just in terms
that it doesn't matter. Wow. And that's because he knows that all those regulators are in his pocket and corrupt. And that's why he makes those statements, in my humble opinion. Okay, moving on. Shout out to CoinDesk. They have some good information out today. We'll start with the first one. Breaking: a landmark UK finance bill that will recognize crypto as a regulated financial activity in the country has passed into law, with King Charles giving it the final approval. So it's 100% official that stable coin bill has passed in the UK. CoinDesk as well. Fidelity refiled with the SEC for a spot Bitcoin exchange traded fund, becoming the latest financial heavyweight to do so. CoinDesk again. Binance's current Euro fiat deposit partner, PaySafe, will no longer provide services to the exchange after September 25th, a spokesperson told CoinDesk. A lot of crazy stuff going on there with Binance. Okay, shout out here to Gold Telegraph. Breaking news: a total of 130 countries, representing 98% of the global economy, are now exploring digital versions of their currencies, with almost half in advanced development, pilot, or launch stage. Welcome to the monetary reset. Yes, folks, this is where the entire world is going. We are all going digital, and we know it. And those of us that are already here, we're in luck because we got in early. Okay, shout out to ISO 222. He put out this video. This is a video of Kristen Robinson, who is from Ripple partner Finastra. Let me play the video.
Back to our show. And on today's program, we have Kristen Robertson from the fine organization called Finastra. Kristen, how are you today? Good to see you.
I'm doing just fine, Mike. Nice to see you as well.
Yay. Well, today we're talking about a super fascinating topic that I'm going to be all transparent here, that I just found out about. My gosh, I'm in the financial services industry. Why did I not know this? But anyway, I digress on that. The Federal Reserve's new payments rail called FEDNOW, which is going to be starting up, I think in July. Is that correct, Kristen? Somewhere?
July 20th is the magic day. Where
That's the big day. Yeah. So we're talking to you today about how Finastra is going to be working with credit unions and community banks to help them prepare for what's about to happen here. But just to kind of start out, let's.
All right. Well, I've been hearing July 1st, but I guess that was either misinformation or it was something that was going to be originally for July 1st and now got pushed back to July 20th. But this is Kristen Robertson, who is from Finastra, and Finastra is a Ripple partner, and she clearly stated there that the day is July 20th when FedNow goes live. So it looks like it's either changed or we just got that information thinking it was going to happen on July 1st. Okay, moving on. Shout out to the Meta Lawman. He put out a very nice, informative thread, and I'm going to start at number 1. The SEC versus Ripple waiting for a critical ruling from Judge Torres on cross motions for summary judgment. Open question whether the judge will address secondary sales of XRP. Number 2, SEC versus Bittrex, June 30th deadline for Bittrex to file motion to dismiss. Number 3, SEC versus Genesis and Gemini, July 21st deadline for SEC to respond to motion to dismiss filed by Genesis and Gemini, arguing that the EARN program is not properly classified as a security. Number 4, SEC versus Coinbase, August 7th, deadline for Coinbase to file motion to dismiss. Number 5, SEC versus Binance, September 21st, deadline for Binance to file motion to dismiss. Consent order entered to protect U.S. customer assets. Expedited discovery is underway. Number 6, FTX bankruptcy, September 29th, deadline to submit customer proofs of claim 2 plus 100 million in fees incurred. Number 7, Coinbase versus SEC, Third Circuit, October 11th, deadline for SEC to report to the court the status of its consideration of Coinbase's petition for rulemaking. Number 8, the New York Attorney General versus KuCoin. New York Attorney General asserts that ETH is a security. No progress reported on the case as of yet. Number 9, HODL Law versus SEC seeks court ruling that ETH is not a security, waiting for ruling on the SEC's motion to dismiss. Number 10, Grayscale versus SEC. Suit to convert GBTC to ETF, waiting on decision from DC Court of Appeals. The judges put tough questions to the SEC at oral argument. Number 11, Voyager bankruptcy, plan confirmed. Voyager customers are supposed to be able to withdraw about 35% of their account assets now, but problems reported. Number 12, Celsius bankruptcy. Fahrenheit declared successful bidder for Celsius assets. Revised plan will need court approval. And number 13, U.S. trustee versus FTX Third Circuit. Trustee is appealing bankruptcy court's denial of motion to appoint an independent examiner. FTX and the official committee of unsecured creditors both oppose appointment of an independent examiner. So there, that was a pretty good thread summing everything up. Here we have the chief legal officer of Coinbase, Paul Grewal, who's responding to this other tweet by Omid Malikan, where he writes, the rest of the world is moving to adopt crypto from the UE and other parts of Europe to regional powers like Brazil, Japan, Australia, to diversifying economies like the UAE, and of course, China via Hong Kong. What is it going to take for the US to step up? And here you have Rishi Sunak, the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom. He writes, it is my ambition to make the UK a global hub for crypto asset technology. And Paul Grewal wrote on his tweet, no, seriously, what is it going to take? And I got to tell you, an act from God is what I responded to that. But hopefully we can get our act together sooner than later. Shout out to Mr. Mann for putting this thing out. I'm not going to play the video, but this is at a ECB forum where Jerome Powell, the Fed chair, he confirmed, Jerome Powell confirms more rate hikes to come. And that's not good for the economy. Here we have a tweet from Ashley Prosper, shout out to her. I imagine we'll be seeing some of these people's images next time related to a DOJ investigation. I also imagine a certain bank would be happy to acquire more of a certain crypto company should one or more of its founders find themselves otherwise occupied with law enforcement. And I agree with that as well. Okay, moving on. Shout out to Mr. Intuitive and the Dark Horse for tweeting and retweeting this thing out. This is a quote from Brad Garlinghouse, and we're going to start at number 14 where it's highlighted. You know, SWIFT has kind of been a sleepy giant. They've taken some pot shot at us. We continue to get intel from the marketplace from both former SWIFT employees and also from people just know on our network that they're getting more aggressive. In fact, I believe, and I might get this wrong here, the details, but they actually have gone to banks that have signed with us and said to them basically that they will give them incentives to not move traffic onto Ripple. Wow, what do you think? Oh shit, that sucked. I love that. We have their attention, and God damn it, we're going to kill them. Whoa, that is a very strong and bullish remarks from Brad Garlinghouse. And you know what? I've always felt that Swift really wasn't gonna survive once Ripple got going, because who's going to, in the right mind, want to continue to use Swift, where they're going to be paying a lot more in fees and wait a lot longer, when they can just use the XRP ledger and send money instantaneously for a fraction of the cost using Swift. So to me, that's a no-brainer. And okay, fam, that's going to do it for today's video. If you found this video to be helpful, would you please smash the like and subscribe? I would really appreciate it, and it doesn't cost you anything. Thank you very much in advance. And in the words of Snoop Dogg, keep your mind on your money and your money on your mind. Peace out, fam.